Well, hello, and welcome to this very special edition of Waffle-Free Storytelling. It's Tina Konstant here. The show notes are where you'll find the waffle, or www.tinaconstant.com. But without any further ado, this week's story is called Obadiah Chicken. Now, Obadiah was a chicken. Not even a chicken. He was a tiny chick with such tiny wings that they barely caused a breeze when he flapped them up and down. And flap them he did. Obadiah was the cause of huge entertainment in the farmyard when every day he would start at one end of the hard, dust-packed, pebble-scattered yard, and he would run as fast as his little legs would push him, flapping his matchstick wings until he thought his heart would burst in two. But never once did he lift more than 1 inch off the ground. All the chickens laughed and picked seeds and sat in the shade and napped. Ha! But while this was all going on, sitting on the edge of a shallow pond, watching Obadiah day in and day out, was Tortuous the turkey. An old turkey, a grumpy turkey, a turkey no one really bothered with. You see, Tortuous liked his own company, and he certainly didn't like chickens. But he was curious to see what Obadiah would do if he had more power. And so he plucked 2 feathers from his own mighty wings, and he gave them to the chick. "Use these, Obadiah," he said. "Maybe they will help." So Obadiah strapped the long, black, strong turkey feathers to his back. He dug his tiny claws into the dirt. He tensed every muscle in his small, fluffy butterball of a body, and he ran. And as he ran, the other chickens laughed, the cows cheered, and the donkey stamped his hooves, and Tortuous, despite his grumpy self, well, he hooted and hollered. With a mighty roar, Obadiah hoisted himself 2 inches into the air. The little chicken was ecstatic. So when Orris the ostrich came to him with even bigger feathers, Obadiah took them without thinking twice. He strapped them to his tiny puffy back, he gripped his tiny feet, and he ran. And as he ran, he flipped and flapped, and he heaved and leapt. And this time he rose 3 inches into the air, before he came crashing down. "You need style and grace," said Proggy the peacock, and he gave Obadiah 2 of his biggest, greatest, most fancy feathers. Once again, Obadiah strapped the huge, bright feathers to his back, and he heaved, and he pulled. But whether he was too exhausted, or whether the feathers were just too big, Obadiah couldn't move an inch. He collapsed in the dust, not able to even take 1 step. Broken and frustrated, Obadiah put the turkey feathers aside, the ostrich feathers aside, the peacock feathers aside, and he limped out of the yard to find a quiet place to think. And it was there, in the dark, that he heard the rasp of the great eagle. Obadiah stared up at the giant amongst birds. His little beak was wide with wonder and awe. This was the great eagle who flew from the mountain tops to the valley, to the highest trees, and to the sun itself. These were the feathers that Obadiah needed. "No," the eagle said. "You don't need my feathers to fly. You need heart. When you find your heart, Obadiah, you will find your wings." Obadiah didn't understand what the eagle meant. He had a heart. Didn't he have a heart? He was sure he had a heart. But still, there was something in what the eagle said that pulled on Obadiah and would not let go. So every day, ignoring everyone in the farmyard, the little chick ran, and he stretched, and he grew, and with every step and every flap he thought about what the eagle said. When you find your heart, you will find your wings. The sun rose and the sun set on the farm, and soon the animals got bored of watching Obadiah trying to lift himself more than a few inches off the ground. The summer passed and the winter passed, and no one paid Obadiah any attention at all, until one day, when the farmer came to the yard looking for dinner. Well, in a flurry of wild activity, the pigs stood wide and fat and did what pigs do. The chickens lay an extra dozen eggs and did what chickens do. The peacock posed and preened. The ostrich kicked and scratched. All the ducks swam and waddled. It was only Obadiah who stood in the middle of the yard, not doing anything a chicken should do. The farmer frowned at Obadiah. He lifted his gun. He aimed his gun. He squeezed the trigger. And in that moment, Obadiah finally understood what the eagle meant. In that moment, with all of his heart and all of his might, Obadiah knew he wanted to live. He wanted to really live. He wanted sunrises and moonbeams. He wanted oceans and valleys and canyons. He wanted mountaintops and adventure. He wanted freedom. The farmer stared wide-eyed as this little chicken stretched and spread, grew and ran. Every flap of his wings was like booming burst of thunder in the dust. Obadiah kicked and heaved, and with his heart full of focus and life and passion and vision, he flew. He flew over the fence. He flew over the fields. He flew down the valley and up the mountainside. And the last the farm and the farmer saw of Obadiah was that crazy little chicken flying with eagles. Ha ha! That's it. That's it from Waffle-Free Storytelling today. Oh, have a glorious week. Have so much fun. Go and hug the people you love and just do something special for someone you haven't seen in a while. All right, folks. Have a good one. I will see you next time for more Mad Hatter shenanigans from the universe. Bye-bye now. Hey. Biscuits later, Jack.